Oh yeah, you gotta get Swifty.
So I was just listening to a Bitcoin interview with Roger Ver. I like Roger Ver. He is known as the Bitcoin Jesus for some, and now the Bitcoin Satan for others. He's done a lot for Bitcoin. When I first started looking into cryptocurrency, he was some of the first videos I watched. And then Crypto Trading Pro, which is kind of funny. But I don't agree with the argument that we owe Roger anything, because he's no doubt wildly profited from his work. So we're free to disagree. Let me give you the rundown on why he's now such a divisive figure in the community. Here's something I don't understand.
Bitcoin is one of the most important inventions in the entire history of humankind, right up there on par with the importance of the invention of the internet itself.
No, wait, no, I understand that. I meant this one.
I've slowly been moving some of my funds into Bitcoin Cash. I think Bitcoin Cash is much more in line with the original vision of Bitcoin.
To my knowledge, the white paper speaks nothing about a global world banking system that frees us from the tyranny of centralized banking and government law. In fact, what it actually talks about is a peer-to-peer transfer payment system that does not have third parties take their cuts, so that very cheap things are actually feasible to pay for, which Bitcoin, funnily enough, has been a terrible system for years now. It mentions nothing of layer 2 solutions, of which Roger in this conference has stated he's a fan of. It mentions nothing about block size limits at all. That was introduced later, and does not have anything about an EDA or emergency difficulty adjustment, which is unique to Bitcoin Cash now.
But I'm a much bigger fan of Bitcoin Cash, but it takes some time to build out the ecosystem and infrastructure. Bitcoin Cash has only been around a month and a week now, whereas the legacy version of Bitcoin, legacy version of Bitcoin, legacy version of Bitcoin, legacy version of Bitcoin.
Legacy coin? Really? You know that's just as offensive to pro-Bitcoiners as Bcash is to pro-Bitcoin cashers. And I get that the term is not necessarily a derogatory one, but in this context, it's calling Bitcoin old and it's calling Bitcoin outdated. Why is he doing this?
Because it has a limited supply just like all the others, but you can move it faster and cheaper than any of the other ones anywhere in the world. So I'm a fan of Bitcoin Cash.
Look, at some point in the past, Roger would have wanted Bitcoin to scale. It took years to reach an agreement with SegWit 2x, which was a huge achievement for Bitcoin. You could say that maybe he never agreed with SegWit or wanted a bigger base block size limit than 2 megabytes, and that's fine. The agreement was breached with the forking of the network into Bitcoin Cash. In order to support Bitcoin Cash, you renounce Bitcoin as the #1 coin. Now, I struggled with that statement to know if that was true, because it's not exactly like if I trade my Bitcoin for Litecoin, I'm suddenly saying Bitcoin is not the #1 anymore. That's not true. But it's difficult to argue with the fact that Bitcoin Cash is attempting to replace Bitcoin. If they could have taken the name Bitcoin, they would have done. They've taken the logo. They're attempting to take the hash power. So at least to some degree, by supporting Bitcoin Cash, to some degree, you're saying that Bitcoin is no longer #1. So renouncing Bitcoin as a #1 after spending so many years promoting its cause because the base block size limit wasn't big enough. 8 is that much better than 2. SegWit and its technical debt is so bad. Transaction fees and confirmation times are so important right now that Lightning Network couldn't wait. I mean, why aren't you repping IOTA in that case? This whole thing leaves me scratching my head. So I went to his YouTube channel for answers. He posted this video when Bitcoin Cash was at about $1,000. The more I listened, the more I distrusted Roger. Link in the description if you'd like to listen to it yourself. Essentially, he attempts to make Bitcoin core developers look like complete idiots and not offering any of their arguments for why they haven't increased the base block size limit. He hammers the point across again and again and again. The developers are idiots. They should have increased the base block size limit. Look how bad it's had an effect on Bitcoin, and offered none of the arguments as to why they've not increased the base block size limit. If you want to present an argument, you need to present both sides, unless you have an agenda, of course. Essentially, he never mentioned Bitcoin Core's arguments that increasing the base block size limit would increase centralization fears, that it's a risky hard fork to do, and there's better solutions coming anyway. He just continually hammers the point that small blocks are really bad, and it's the direct cause that Bitcoin has lost a lot of its market capitalization to other coins. For the majority of people using Bitcoin as a store of value, they weren't transferring it here, there, and everywhere, and so confirmation times, confirmation fees were more of an annoyance than anything else. That, coupled with the fact that A lot of the reasons behind the altcoin boom was because people were attempting to get in on the next Bitcoin because they felt that they missed getting in early on Bitcoin. Also was a contributing factor to the altcoin market boom, not just full blocks. So again, left scratching my head. Then I wondered, what would Littlefinger do?
Sometimes, when I try to understand a person's motives, I play a little game. I assume the worst. What's the worst reason they could possibly have for saying what they say and doing what they do? Then I ask myself, how well does that reason explain what they say and what they do?
I'm not out to vilify Roger, I guess. But for fun, here's some of the reasons I thought about worst case scenarios why he'd be repping Bitcoin Cash. Number one, he runs a mining pool on Bitcoin.com. How many Bitcoin Cash coins did he mine? Let's remember that due to the EDA, the block reward for Bitcoin Cash for a time was spitting out block rewards like crazy. If you look at CoinMarketCap, there are tens of thousands of more Bitcoin Cash coins in existence than Bitcoins. Is he sitting on a mountain of them? How much does he stand to gain by them rising in value? Two, this man likely has a ton of Bitcoin anyway, so therefore a ton of Bitcoin Cash. As a rather intelligent man, he probably understands that Bitcoin itself is unlikely to get dethroned in the immediate future as the #1 cryptocurrency, but he does understand that Bitcoin Cash has great potential to suck some of the altcoin market cap into itself and get more valuable, thus creating for himself more wealth. And number three, he works for the government and has infiltrated Bitcoin to the lowest levels. He seeks the confusion of new adopters, their distrust in a coin that has so much political infighting it's literally split, the lowering of its total market cap, the lowering of its hash power, and ultimately its destruction. I think that last one is unlikely. At the end of the day, he's just a guy and he can do as he please. If I'm to paint him in a good light, potentially he just got so tired of waiting for big blocks that because Bitcoin Cash is giving it to him now, he loves it, truly believes it's better than Bitcoin. I've got nothing against Bitcoin Cash supporters, free market and all that. Woo. Even though Bitcoin is below 4K right now at 3,885, honestly, it's pretty much the same price. It's just consolidating. It's very hard for it to remain a flat line. If you work out the percentage from 4,000 to this price, 2.8%, almost nothing for Bitcoin. So what is going on up? We have Metaverse, ETP, at a massive 201%, although this is falling rapidly. I think it was up at 500% earlier today, and it's on the way down right now. The boost is from hitting Bitfinex recently, which has caused the pump. As you can see from the market, however, it's been crashing for a very long time. If we were to have a look at the coin, this is not a review, this is a very brief overview. Metaverse is a decentralized platform based on blockchain technology, so extremely unique. Metaverse is building a web of smart properties and establishing an open ecosystem in which digital value can be circulated freely. Do you know how many coins, projects out there right now are described as a new ecosystem? Almost all of them. It's ridiculous. If we have a look at the video, we get this page and we click play and we're presented a video that I'm surprised. Before I started filming, it wasn't working at all. Now it's worked for the first few seconds. Riveting stuff. I may be getting cynical in my old crypto age of 3 months, so forgive me for that. Next up is Dentacoin, a coin for dentists. I don't know why every ICO has this design on the sides. It absolutely kills my PC. I've got a 6700K and it uses like 50% of the CPU to load this web page. For some reason, the token sale starts in 9 days, although it's already on some markets. And if we have a look at the website, at the bottom it says, what? Exactly my thoughts. I'm not going to waste mine or your life researching a coin for dentists, just as I wouldn't for a coin for hot dogs or a coin for bowling lane shoes. I put them in the same category. Just recently I was reading about global warming coin, a coin that they describe as when it goes up in value, this will show awareness for global warming. In non-ridiculous news, Decred just completed an atomic swap with Litecoin. This comes off the back of Litecoin doing the same thing the day before. Charlie Lee himself doing it from Litecoin into Decred. And here we have Vertcoin testing has been tweeted that it will be going down some point today. This itself has caused a pump in Vertcoin. Not this again. Vertcoin is up almost 50% from the news. Atomic swaps is a pretty big deal because essentially one day you could go to a merchant, they only accept a certain type of coin, but you want to pay with the coin that you've got. It's not a problem with atomic swaps. It'll get converted instantly at the best exchange rate. It's just like using shapeshift.io where you convert one coin to another, except it's handled automatically and you don't need that. It's gone dark. You don't need that third-party exchange to help you do it. And in the news, the Russian governor invites cryptocurrency miners to come and set up mining farms in Leningrad. The idea is that they're going to try and get them cheaper electricity and to set up some major farms out there in Russia. It's quite interesting now that they've chosen to mention this news. I think they're maybe speaking directly to Bitmain. I wonder how tempted Bitmain would be, but I'm pretty sure they'll be waiting for more clarification from China first. Because no doubt, even if they said no to mining, they could change their minds and say, wait, it was temporary. It was just until we could launch some legislation. No market manipulation there whatsoever. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.